take this moment to center yourself in whatever way you need with everything going on in our world right now. Um, there's still joy, and there's still the ISA,
And we still have each other.
and we still have each other. So yeah, welcome everyone to our annual summer session and ISA training. Um, this will be recorded and posted online, probably within a couple days. And let's jump in. So here's our quick agenda. We're going to spend some time initially with Lisa leading us through differences between summer session and really things you need to keep in mind. And then I will take over and go through and look at what's going on with the ISA, differences in your scheduling within the ISA, and a bit of how to. And then we'll follow up and end with a Q&A session, primarily with Lisa and I, but we'll also have Monica and a couple of members from the ISA work group available to answer questions.
Got a lot of brain power here today.
Yes.
Hi, so I'm Lisa Bargabas, everyone from the summer session office, and I primarily work on hiring faculty and giving funding to departments for TAs and things like that, but also on the scheduling side. So I'm here to represent our team and explain how summer's a little bit different than academic year. So if you're new, or if you even if you've scheduled with summer before, like we only do this once a year, so that's why we have this little refresher to kind of keep everybody in the loop on what's going on. And then, of course, Eric is our fearless leader.
Um, right. So I'm the technical project manager for the ISA. That means I'm sort of the communications glue between the users, the subject matter experts, and our developer team, which is based out of the School of Biological Sciences. I'm here, to help with user support, to help with help everyone just decide on priorities or relative priorities in terms of our development direction, and then to serve as a guide in many ways for the progress that we make in development, the releases. You'll see my announcements on releases with release notes. Always read the release notes, please. Um,
Yes.
you'd be surprised how much time you can save with new features as we release them, um, and make your lives a little bit easier. So let's get on with it.
All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how summer is different. Like summer's not a fourth quarter in the academic year. It's treated as a separate thing. Our 10-week classes are offered in a condensed format. Most of them are 5 weeks, and our students really like that. They can take a course in 5 weeks and still have some summer left. They can travel, get internships. They just have that freedom. Maybe they need to sleep for a little while before fall starts again. Um, and then students are not required to come in the summer, but we have about 14,000 students. We had that many in 2024. About 98% are UCSD undergrads and grads. We do allow students who are non-matriculated to come in summer. So we'll have high school students, we'll have other UC students from other UC campuses can come and take classes in summer. And I was wondering with remote modality if we'd see that number grow, but really it stayed pretty consistent. It's mainly our students who take classes they need during the summer. The tuition and fees are different in summer. Students pay by the unit, and they have to be enrolled in a minimum of 6 units to be eligible for financial aid. So most of our students take at least 2 courses in the summer. The other unique thing is non-residents don't have to pay extra. So it's a dollar per unit, it's $279 per unit for undergrads, whether you're an in-state resident or not. And that's kind of an appealing thing for our non-California UCSD students. The faculty, when faculty are hired in the academic year, they're on a contract with your department. It comes out of your department budget. In the summer session pays for the faculty, and we pay for the TAs. They get the instructors get a set salary per course. No faculty are required to teach. So sometimes that's a challenge for us, right? We're trying to find enough instructors. A lot of grad students will teach in summer. It's a good way for them to get teaching experience. The approvals don't go through your school dean office. It goes through, summer session has been under the Dean of Undergrad Education, John Moore, and we've actually moved under ABC Carlos Jensen in Educational Innovation. So we'll have a little bit of a change on the sign off, but it's still not going through the school dean offices. And then normally, like during the academic year, departments, you're working directly with registrar to get your courses scheduled, get instructor names on the schedule. In summer, because we're overseeing all the costs and expenses, summer session has an additional like approval step. So we need to know who's teaching what, so I can send them a contract and we get them set up, in UC Path correctly. And we want to make sure, look at the balance of what courses are being offered, that kind of thing. So there is this extra approval by summer session, and that's why it really is because of the funding and how everything's paid for. Okay, Eric, next screen, please. These are the dates for summer 2025. For the first time, we have remote modality approved before you're submitting your schedule. So that's kind of a bonus from Academic Senate. They did say this is the last summer we can have remote modality without like an R designation on the course. We'll see if that, we'll do a summer 2026 later, but for this summer, any course can be offered remotely. And we do find that there's a demand from students for remote courses. So when it makes sense and when you can, if you can offer like half your courses in person and half remote or online, that seems to be a good way to serve, the most students when you have those choices available. Students really do like to go home for the summer. They don't want to pay for housing in San Diego if they don't have to. So the remote option has really been in demand from our students. We start June 30th this year, so before the July 1st fiscal year start, which is sometimes a little bit of a challenge when we're getting names on the schedule, like their appointments won't be active in UC Path till July 1st. So that's something we deal with. But not bad. When you have a course, we're seeing more and more special sessions. So courses that are not 5 weeks, we call special session. They can range from 2 to 10 weeks, as you see here. You do need to pick one of those pre-programmed subterms that are set up in ISIS. Like we don't have flexibility to just pick the start and end dates of our courses. We're limited by what ISIS can do. So we do ask that you choose a subterm when you're scheduling a special session class. Okay, next slide, Eric. There's when things change. So you set up your schedule and then things are going to change, right? We know for sure in the ISA. If you're changing the days and times of a class, summer session doesn't need to be involved in that. You can just work directly with registrar like you normally would. If it's after schedule build submission, you're just sending emails to request changes. When an instructor changes, like I need to know for payroll, I need to like cancel the contract for the original instructor. I need to send the new instructor a contract. So for those things, you need to like put the change into the summer session schedule build, and summer session would approve that change. If a class changes sessions, that's going to change the pay date for the instructor. So I need to know, summer session needs to know when you're moving a class like from session 1 to session 2. And that really is like you're canceling the original course and adding a new one. And so that all has to be approved by summer session in the ISA. And then summer session doesn't make that change on the schedule, though. We still have to tell registrar, hey, Monica, can you please make this change, right? So it's kind of a two-step thing, right? Summer session approves it, and then you need to reach out to registrar to actually go ahead and make that change. And Eric's going to show us, I think, a little bit more about the screens in the ISA and how that all looks in the summer session schedule builder. When you're canceling a class, so you would submit a cancellation request in the summer session schedule builder. Summer session would review and approve it. And then if students are already enrolled, you have extra steps, right? You got to like set enrollment to 0, notify the students, then email the registrar scheduling to cancel the courses on the schedule. And then registrar is going to actually look to make sure summer session approved it. So we're double checking each other, making sure that we're all following that process. And then if there's a contract in place for the instructor, I send a cancellation letter so that they know their course has been canceled. So that's how we're all working together in the ISA. Okay, next, Eric, thanks. Just the timeline so you guys know, we're asking you to put your courses in by next Thursday, the 14th. The ISA will stay open for new courses. It's not like you have to have everything figured out by then. And we're not asking you to build your schedule with days, times, locations by then. We just want to know in the summer session schedule builder what courses you're planning to offer. And the reason we have this kind of early-ish deadline is in December, we want to post on our website all the courses that are being offered and the sessions they'll be in, so that when our students go home for Christmas, like they can kind of see, is the course I need going to be offered? You know, they're making their plans for summer now, like with their families. And so we want to just give them an idea of what courses are going to be offered. And then your schedule's not due to register until towards the end of January. This January 24th date is a soft target date that summer session would like you to shoot for. The actual cutoff date will be the following week. But so if you kind of in your mind think you're trying to get it done by the 24th, if you're a couple days late, you're not going to be in trouble there. Okay, I think that's all I want to say about that. So yeah, we found out a couple summers ago, like if you miss the deadline for summer to submit your schedule build to registrar and you're going to do it after the look comes out, right? You would email your schedule to registrar, like none of those instructor names will be like automatically pushed onto the schedule. And so that, and in the summer, it falls on the summer session office to add the instructor names because we're the ones who know, like, is this a grad student that hasn't been approved to teach yet by the GEPA dean? If not, we're going to hold their name back. If it's, we have visiting faculty who come and teach, you know, from other universities, if they haven't been approved yet, we're not going to put their name on the schedule. So we have to, summer session basically controls like what names can go on and which ones we need to hold back. And so that manual workload, we just don't have a very big team to be adding hundreds of names on the schedule if schedules are late. So we feel like that schedule build deadline is pretty important to try and get as much in there as you can. Okay. Next slide, please. So the schedule of classes goes live in March, and then we have until April before students start enrolling. So there are changes to the schedule that happen during that time in summer. In April, the students get enrollment appointments. In May, they'll get package for financial aid, and then session one starts in June this year. We're trying to, the campus is really pushing for growth. You know, they increased the instructor salaries last year and they're paying more to departments for courses and enrollment. So there's kind of an expectation that they want to see more students served in the summer. And the more students we help in the summer, it should help in the academic year wait lists and stuff too. So some ideas we're thinking of trying to do to push this growth initiative, like links to the summer session website, maybe from all the departments to encourage your students to take classes in summer, more of like an email campaign. And our office is going to maybe set up some email templates to share that you guys can just send out to your students and your majors. You know, using social media to promote courses that have space available, putting up flyers. Like, so we're going to try a few things this summer and we'll see if they help with pushing enrollment growth. And we'll need your help with that, of course. Okay. Oh, managing waitlist is a big one because as I was saying, students need to be enrolled in 6 units to be eligible for financial aid. If the course they want has a wait list, they might enroll in a different class as a placeholder just to make sure they're enrolled in more than 6 units. And we will see a lot of movement in the summer enrollment. But what would be helpful is when you have wait lists for your summer classes, if you know you're not going to open another section, let the students know so that they will find a different class to take. And if you are able to open another section, we want to encourage departments to take that risk. Like I know that we in the past will cancel courses for low enrollment, but we're going to loosen that up a little bit because we want to encourage you to serve as many students as you can. Okay, I think that's all we need to know about waitlists right now. Next slide. A few tips for success. Remember to use that summer session schedule builder for your changes. If you have a topics class, please include the subtitle so that students know what that topics class is about. A reminder to put in special classes, like if you're a faculty or teaching a global seminar program or a travel study, we want to make sure to get those classes in and on the schedule. I think Summer Bridge and Summer Engineering Institute are still figuring out exactly what courses they're going to offer, but when they reach out to you, if you can get their classes in the ISA as soon as possible, that would be great. We're asking if possible, because right now we're not asking you to schedule days and times and the location of your courses. There's no way for us to know if you're planning a remote course or an in-person course or a hybrid course, or if you're not sure what the modality is. We're asking if you could please add a note in the notes to summer session box when you're adding a course in the summer session schedule builder. Just put a quick note in there. You know, is this going to be a remote course, in-person, hybrid, or if you're not sure, you can just put TBD. So that we can get a rough idea. Do we have a balance in the schedule of remote and in-person, or are we leaning too many remote or too many in-person? So whatever you know now, if you could just put a note in there, that would be really helpful for us. Okay, next slide, Eric. These slides will be available. We have links to some documentation that might be helpful. Like our 5-year report shows enrollment for the past 5 summers. So if you want to see which courses have had strong student demand and which ones maybe we've had a harder time getting students to take, that's a helpful Tableau report right there. And then the guidebook is kind of like our policy and procedure guidebook. So it's pretty big, but it has a lot of good information in there. High impact courses, I'll just say that educational innovation ran some curricular analytics and identified about 100 courses that they felt were really important to offer in the summer to help with time to degree, to help with DFW rates, things like that. And so every course that a department offers on that list pays the department an extra $500 from summer session. And so you might want to just take a look at that high impact course list and make sure that if there are courses from your department on there, that please put them on your summer schedule if you can, if it makes sense. And then a reminder again about subterms, please do pick a subterm if you're scheduling a course that is not going to be 5 weeks in the summer. Next slide. And then standard teaching times, it's important that we all follow schedule courses in those set standard teaching times. It's helpful for sharing when it's an in-person course, right? We have classroom resources that need to be shared. We want to be efficient and use them as best we can. And also students are taking at least 2 classes, right? So we want to make sure they don't overlap. So stick to the standard teaching times. They're in our guidebook if you need to refer to them later. And I think that's all I had planned. Does anyone have questions about how summer's different? There's this extra approval, anything like that? If not, I'll hand it over to Eric and he's going to show us more step-by-step in the ISA, how this all looks.
Lisa, I have a quick question. This is
Yes.
Cami.
Hi, Cami.
Hi. So if we submit our initial classes, you said we can submit other classes because we're still trying to work out a couple things.
Yes.
And if when we do that, I know that every time you put a class on the ISA and you press submit again for that class, we don't have to email you or anything.
No.
You'll get okay, we just press submit and then we're
just
good.
Press submit. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
The ISA team built summer session a dashboard and we get like
Got
a
it.
notification that a new class has been submitted. We usually check
Excellent.
the classes like once a day. We'll go
Perfect.
in.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. So the initial approvals won't happen till December, like the 18th. So things will just look pending until then. I would say if you want to go ahead and start working on your schedule, you can. We don't cancel a lot of classes, so you could go ahead and start working on your schedule. You don't have to wait till December 18th till everything's officially approved. You know what I mean?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I know we have, I think most of the classes, there's just 2 classes. We're just trying to figure out which of the 2 we're going to be offering.
Yeah.
Depending on whether or not the student passes their prospectus in time. So thank you. Yeah, I know.
I should say a quick thing about that. We did request that if you have grad students teaching, we want them advanced to candidacy by the end of winter quarter. The only reason we have that in there is because we don't want to cancel a class at the end of June when they find out they didn't advance as planned, in spring. But if you can, as a department, have a backup instructor identified so that we don't have to cancel the class. We won't hold to that. They must advance to candidacy by the end of winter. Like we can give them more time as long as you have a backup so that we don't have to cancel the class in June. Because really that is very harmful for the students who they think they're getting financial aid and then one of their courses gets canceled, you know, a week before the class starts, and then they're scrambling to try to find something else to enroll in. And then, oh, this class is in person. I wasn't planning on being in San Diego. Now they got to figure out their housing, you know, so that's all we're trying to do with that, like end of winter candidacy date, is trying to avoid canceling classes in June.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, I'll turn it over to you, Eric.
All right, I'll give everyone a brief minute to 2 minute break, and then we'll dive into the ISA. All right, let's move on. All right, so I'm going to talk at some length about the ISA. We're not going to go into a huge amount of detail because there's been no substantial changes in the ISA summer scheduling process over the past year. So last year's recording, if you want more detail, is going to have more, as well as prior year's recording. So I'll point you to those if you need more detail. Plus, you're always welcome to reach out to people within your school or division for help. We have members from a good chunk of the schools and divisions on campus. So for those who are not familiar, the ISA is the Instructional Scheduling Assistant. It is our centralized campus tool sponsored by the EVC to help you get your schedules into the registrar, as well as standardizing all of that. We are continuing to develop it. All of our work has really been focusing lately on, you know, once the look is released, what do you need to do, and starting to work into that change request cycle or the change chaos that happens once the look is released. We do have an ISA work group. We will always be looking for representatives from schools where we don't currently have a representative or an active representative. So I'll let you see who those members are. But yeah, one of the things that the ISA was really looking to accomplish was to remove error, remove variability, remove rework, especially in the communications between the registrar team and all of the department schedulers. And while the ISA is not a perfect system by any means, it has gone a long way toward helping that in those specific places where there have been pain. We're always trying to work through the pain points that you department schedulers have been experiencing in your schedule builds, trying to speed things up for you. Excuse me, reduce the number of clicks, all of that. And yeah, the next big thing that we're going to be doing is introducing this change requests into the ISA. We're deep into planning on that. We've done, I think, all of the preliminary work we really need to do on that. And our next release will be sort of bonus features and improving some areas as we complete our planning. And then the release after that will be the first opportunity to start submitting change requests through the ISA. And that release will probably come out January, maybe. We'll have to see. But that's probably the earliest it will come out.
That's going to be amazing.
Yeah. I will say that release, when we do it, will likely have a small set of users that we would target to use that new change request feature, where we're going to work and build out that feature set over time to make it more robust and handle more common situations more quickly, and then add in more edge cases, special tools or special features to handle edge cases a little bit more quickly as well. So be on the lookout for that. There are a number of things I'm not going to try to cover today. Copy schedule is a big one, and it can help you a lot in your initial quarterly builds or your summer session builds. We're not going to look at teaching acknowledgements or ISPs. We're not going to look at course and instructor groups, time blocks. We're not going to really talk about your submission statuses after you've submitted to the registrar. We're not going to talk about the look. We're not going to talk about the diff list, which is where most of the releases you've seen over the past several months have been focused on. So how do you get help? We will do office hours. So summer and fall, I think I updated that, yes. We will have summer and fall virtual office hours scheduled. We'll send out announcements about that. Definitely look in the user documentation, make use of the send feedback or send an email to us, or reach out to your work group representative. Here are current active reps. If you don't see someone for your school, let us know, and we can reach out to who the rep has been and see if they're still going to be active, or look to find someone else. That's also on Blink. So if you go to the ISA on Blink, you'll see that the list of folks there too. I definitely want folks to look at the how to get access. If you need access to a new unit or you have someone new coming into your unit who needs access, please follow those instructions. It will speed things up for all of you, because it keeps all the control within the users, and it doesn't require creating a ticket. So you don't have to wait on someone to get back to you. It can all happen within your unit. All right, so here's the overview of how we approach things, 5 steps, and let's dive right in. So first thing, build your schedule. So first, make sure you're in the correct year. So there will be a certain point where the working year and the summer session year may not line up. I think right now everything lines up, but just make sure you're in the correct year. So yeah, here we are on the correct year.
I think we want 24, 25 though. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yep, that looks good.
Okay. So when you're talking about building your schedule, there's 3 options. Copying from other terms, which could include prior summer terms, using copy schedule. That's going to be the fastest way if your course offerings are very similar, especially if it's, same class structure, same, typically same day time, same instructors. That's going to be your fastest way. I recommend that. We, have had a specific training on the copy schedule, especially with the improvements that we made a couple of years ago. I'm going to point you to that. Or you can start from scratch in the summer sessions schedule builder, which is what I'll be covering today. Or as is most of the case, you'll do a little bit of both. You'll copy the things that are similar, and then the things that are not, that are dissimilar, you'll need to probably build from scratch. All right, so starting from scratch. So when you're in the summer session schedule builder, the first thing you need to do is go and add a class. This is very much like you do on the ASB. Things that you want to pay attention to, instruction type. If you use projected enrollment for your class builds, I know some departments use it as part of their planning process and some do not. And then, you know, as with the ASB, it's optional whether or not you add instructors at this stage. That's going to be important for summer session, of course, because they want to approve those folks and get the payroll process done. But yeah, at least in terms of your planning, you don't have to wait for the summer session window to open. You can start planning for summer 2026 today if you have an idea of what you're going to do. There's no reason to wait. So adding a new class, you're going to get this view. So what you can do, select your instruction type. That's going to be lecture for most folks, but it may be a lab class or a seminar or whatever. Select the correct term. Subterm is going to be important, particularly in S3 or special summer session. And those subterms have been defined already in the ISA for folks to be able to select. That note to summer session, as Lisa mentioned, please put in your modality if you know what it is, so that note goes to them. Administrator notes are only within your unit. You and folks within your unit are the only ones who will see that. But I know some folks make use of it to, you know, if there's multiple people or if there's some other process that you have, it's there for you to use freely. And then projected enrollment is what you think it's going to be. That's not the same thing as enrollment limit, which you'll set manually at the class level. And then we also have support for cross-listed and conjoined classes. The additional thing you'll need to do there when you're in the class details is select who the lead unit will be. The lead unit is the one that can change class structure items. So that would be add an instructor, setting days and times, adding, primary, adding secondary, tertiary sections, etc. If your unit is not the lead unit, then the only thing that you can set is enrollment limit for your parts of the class. Enrollment limits are summed up. This is similar to what we did. We have a specific training available online for the cross-enrolled functionality. So we definitely recommend taking a look at that if you're not familiar with it, but it functions similarly in summer as it does the rest of the year. All right, so we've created our initial very loose schedule. So this is going to be, the ASB or the summer session schedule builder version of it. It doesn't necessarily have all the additional class details like secondary sections, days, times, and those sorts of things. So then you need to send it to summer session so they can start reviewing it, approving, denying if there's a reason to deny it, and also approving instructors. So on your summer session schedule builder, there's going to be that send to summer session. That's going to send everything that is on your schedule that is owned by your unit. So in the case of cross-enrolled sections, which I'll get to, it will not send something that you are not the lead unit for. The lead unit will need to submit that to summer session. So you'll get a preview. Here's the things that I'm sending. You can do this multiple times a summer session. Every time you add something new, feel free to send it. You don't need to wait, because the sooner you can get that approval in, the sooner you can move on with your process. Make sure to do the acknowledgements. Make sure to do the things in the acknowledgement. And then, yeah. So
Yeah,
again,
don't forget. I would say just don't forget that send to summer session button, because sometimes you'll make changes and we don't see everything you do. We only see what you push to us. So whenever you make a change, just push it over to us and we'll review and approve.
For sure, for sure. All right. So yeah, as I said, with cross-enrolled stuff, make sure the lead unit is submitting. So if you're not the lead unit, make sure to be communicating with your lead unit. If you are the lead unit, make sure to communicate with the other units that, hey, here's the details that I'm sending. This is every step. Make sure you're communicating. The ISA, even though it has support for this, is not a replacement for communication with your colleagues. All right. So here's the difference. So, here I've got an example of You know, Poly is lead on two of these offerings, but not on the third. And so the third one, the one with a little X, where econ is the lead unit, will not be sent to summer session by Poly. Econ would then, when they do their send to summer session, is when it would get sent. And there's also a third acknowledgement there, which is basically saying, I am coordinating and communicating with my other units. So please make sure to do that. All right, here's a quick guide on knowing what things look like in the SS summer session schedule builder on where you're at. So green means it's been approved. The yellow or the tan means it's pending, it was sent. Red means it's been canceled, and if it doesn't have any highlighted colors or any of those notes within the box, then you haven't sent it yet. And that means you have no chance of getting it on the schedule until it has gone to summer session. Even if you submitted your schedule to the registrar, it still won't go if it hasn't been approved. All right, so we've sent to summer session. Now we need to wait for approvals. You can look and see where things are at. In the summer session schedule builder, you can look for it. We also have a specific section, a specific view that will let you see where your approvals are at. You can also see it in your quarterly preview. There's lots of places to see what the status is. So this is one view. Definitely take a look at it. You can see where things are at. Here it is on the quarterly preview. Use the little badge, hover over where it says details. It's going to pop it up. If it's approved, you'll see it. You'll also see that book icon change color. And there's a couple other things here that are important. So we've got the instructors highlighted, as well as a summer statuses column that you can take a look at. And I'll explain what those mean here. All right, so following all the arrows. So if a class is approved, you'll see summer session approved, you'll see the green book icon. If an instructor is approved, you'll see one instructor approved, the little person icon next to them will turn green. If an instructor is not yet approved, you'll see the instructor pending, and you'll see the little yellow person icon. If an instructor has been, if summer session has said no to an instructor, then the little icon next to the person will be red, and you'll see one instructor denied. So that's how it works. It is possible for one instructor in a co-instructor situation to be approved and the other one not. It could be because you're waiting for all the higher paperwork to go through. There's multiple reasons why that can happen if it's a grad student in particular or a new instructor. There are also reasons why someone may be denied. I'm not aware of all the business process reasons, but that's one of the things that I would let summer session speak to.
Sometimes there's like visa issues or something,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's your little handy key. And again, we'll make the slides available and the recording available. All right, and there we go. When things are approved, we're back to the summer session building or builder, and you can see the things that are approved, the things that are not, the things that are still pending. In this case, there are nothing, at least for Poly 5D, that has not yet been sent to summer session, because everything has a background color and has a note at the bottom of the little box or the card. All right. If you need to cancel something along the way, so you can go to that, you can do it from really anywhere in the ISA. Here I'm doing it from the summer session class approvals view. You just click on request cancellation, I'll give it. You need to fill out a reason. You can't submit a request for cancellation without providing a reason, and that's important for summer session tracking. And then you need to make sure to attest that you've done the things that you need to do. And just keeping in mind that it's not canceled until cancellation has been approved by summer session. All right, so 3 is kind of gonna always be in progress until you're done, and that could be deep into summer session itself. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But now we're gonna hop into 4, and this is where you do the thing. This is where it works mostly like the rest of the terms. This is where you're gonna submit to the registrar. So I recommend you working on the quarterly preview for the most part. So you need to make sure you're in the correct term. So summer has 3 terms: S1, S2, and special summer session. So make sure in the quarterly preview that you've selected the correct term. This is where you're going to add all your components, any additional instructors, days, times, department space locations or campus space requests. any of those sorts of things, or our class if you know it's going to be remote. All right. So you go into class editor from any of the views. Make sure to go to class components. There you can see whether or not you need to add secondary, tertiary sections. In this case, we only have a primary section, so we need to add a tertiary section for the class build to be complete. You can also go and edit a section directly from there, and that's going to bring up a bunch of options. This is the same as every other term. So it's going to bring up this modal on the right, where you can set the enrollment limit. You can again add an administrator note. You can add a class instructor. Section instructor override is very special cases. It's if you don't know what it is, you're not using it. And if you do know what it is, you know, you probably know what it is. And we're really talking about like a couple units across campus uses. And then you can also add a day and time. So you set your day and time. Keep in mind the standard days and times for making sure, especially if you're requesting campus space, you're much more likely to get campus space if you do that correctly. In fact, I don't even know if you may be highly unlikely to get campus space if you don't use the standard day and time. And then location. If you need campus space, make sure to toggle that to yes. If you don't need campus space and you're doing it in department space, then you'll be able to select department spaces from the dropdown. I don't think we have the COVID warning anymore. I don't remember. I might need to update that screenshot. Okay, let's take a 2-minute break. We'll be back at 10:45 and we'll wrap up.
Love these pictures.
It's just what I needed today. It's perfect.
Right? I think I'm gonna have to request these in our work group meetings, Eric.
I've started to use these in my training too. I borrowed them from Eric because they're just
Yeah,
too
they're
cute.
great.
As you should. At some point, I might just have a video of our rabbits. My partner and I have 2 rabbits, a bonded pair, and I might just do a video of them, and it will just be the thing that runs as we're doing a Q&A, or runs as we're waiting to get started.
It's a great idea.
The hedgehog bowling has me completely mesmerized. Can you do that with your rabbits?
Well, if I could catch, so one of our rabbits, she likes to run around with a stick in her mouth, and right now, because of we got hit by the flood in January, and so we have the rabbits in our bedroom instead of kind of free roam in the house. So they're gated right now, and she'll run around like she's a prisoner, ramming the stick against the gate,
Oh.
back and forth, back and forth, back
Oh
and
my
forth.
gosh, we need that video. Come on, Eric.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. And she'll just do it for like 3 or 4 minutes in a row, and then she'll be like, okay, now you understand that I don't like being contained.
Free range bunnies.
All right, let's move on. It's been a couple minutes. Hope everyone is back. All right, so yeah, you finished your schedule build, and now it's time to submit to the registrar. And this is slightly different. It's still the same wizard, but there's a couple extra steps that we're going to cover. So this works very much the same. The 2 differences that are really clear is nothing if a class has not been approved by summer session, it will not be included in your submission to the registrar. If an instructor has not been approved, but a class has been approved, then the class will move forward without an instructor to the registrar. And then it will be a change request after the look, or summer session will work directly with the registrar in order to get those instructors added once they've been approved. So yeah, normal thing. In the quarterly preview, proceed to the schedule submission wizard. Step 1, class approval. So here we can see we've got 1 class that's not approved. It's currently pending in this case. So that tells you that that class will not be submitted to the registrar's office. So once that's approved, you come back here, you won't see that. So here we've got a denied instructor, but the class is approved. So what that means is the instructor will be stripped out, but the rest of the class details will move forward. So it still gets on the schedule of classes. And if you're requesting campus space, it's also, you can still get campus space from this. Review, if there's any errors, any validation errors, and we've got a validation error here, you can do that. There's some filters you can use to go find those. You still will have a supplemental scheduling survey, I believe, these terms as well. So you'll do that. Make sure to resolve any of those errors. You will not be allowed to submit if there are any validation errors. So here we're missing probably a secondary section and there's no enrollment limit set. So we've got to take care of that before you can submit. The class build must be valid. We currently do not support the functionality of submitting everything that's valid, but not things that are invalid. Matt, you have a question? Go ahead.
Not so much a question, just wanted to throw this out there. If you are cross-listed with another department, your course is cross-listed and you're not the lead, I'm sorry, and you are the lead, just make sure that you do your part on this. Otherwise, the non-lead departments will have to will either not be able to submit their schedule, or will have to take the lead, make something up, and then change the lead back over to you in order for them to submit their schedule. So I just want to throw that out there because I have experienced that and ran into that a bit. So putting that little plug.
For sure. All right. Once you fix all the errors, you'll get the normal thing. You do your attestation that you've done the things, and then you can submit to the registrar. So yeah, questions? Anything we've talked about, anything in the ISA, I'm happy to share screen and go through some stuff. If you have specific questions about your schedule, we can absolutely hop in as long as you are comfortable with it being on the recording. Or if we can also stop the recording. As long as you're comfortable with that, we can go ahead and move forward and see if we can solve any problems.
I have a quick question. If Lisa, if you could go over Global Seminar real quick.
So what's I think what's tricky about global seminars is the faculty are reaching out to the global seminar program and submitting a proposal and deciding to teach courses, but are they telling your MSO and schedulers and student affairs that that's what they're doing? Sometimes you're not in the loop on that. And I think this year the global seminar team said they will be proactively reaching out to the departments to make sure you know what classes your faculty are teaching as part of these travel programs. And you would just put that course in like you do your normal courses. There should be, unless it's not approved yet, like there might be some new course that Senate hasn't approved yet. Otherwise, the global seminars will have a GS at the end, and you would just put those courses in like you normally would, like a regular course.
Yeah, but you don't put a time on it, I think is the one.
Oh, right. Yes.
Right.
No daytime. You can just put, is it TBA or something, or TBD,
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah, you put TBD or TBA for everything.
Yeah. So you don't need to schedule those, right? They just need to be on the schedule so students can enroll.
Thank you. I got thrown by that last year, so I thought I would.
Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, thanks, Helen. That's a good thing to mention because that's something that isn't that they don't run during the academic year. Those are like summer only travel programs. Good point. There's about 20 of them. Each one has 2 courses, so we're looking at like maybe 40 classes or so that meet that.
Hi, Lisa. This is Jordan with History. I also had a question on the
Jordan.
seminar. Hi.
Hi.
So for that, is the enrollment same across the board, or is that a question that I have to contact Global Seminar for?
You mean like when you put your enrollment?
Yeah, like what the limit is.
The limit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they go up to 28, but
Okay.
you could just put 15 or or ask global seminars. Maybe they might have the problem is they won't know actual enrollment till like April.
Yeah.
Okay.
My impression has been Global Seminars kind of handles that. Like I just put like 20 and just let them, because they do pretty much everything other than submit through the ISA.
Okay,
How-
so they can manage that.
Yeah, and Helen, they give you a list of names and PIDs, right? So that you know who to authorize to enroll.
I got a list of names and PIDs.
Yeah,
I don't know who it came from. I think it might just be from our coordinator for environmental studies. So
okay. Global seminars, yeah, they manage that whole process. There's like an application the students have to fill out, and then they'll give you the list of who should be enrolling in those courses. So you do want to not leave them open for anybody. They should be controlled so that you're pre-authorizing, the list of students that are going to take those courses.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. I came in around this time last year, so it's like all coming together for me. Thank
It's
you.
been a year, Jordan.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you.
All right,
Matt, do you have a
Matt?
question?
I was just going to add that we leave the enrollment limit at 0 because the student should be pre-authorized to
Yeah.
enroll in courses. So if you leave it at 0, nobody can enroll in it unless they've been pre-authorized. So I
Good
don't,
point.
you should worry about inputting an actual enrollment limit.
An actual number. Okay. Yeah, that's right. That makes sense to set it to 0.
Alyssa, I saw
Great.
you. Did you have a question or did it get covered?
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna add in that we similarly like put in 20 to start, but we have like restriction on it that no one can just enroll. And then once we get the list from Global Seminars, we can increase or decrease depending on how many names are on the list and then authorize those students.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions? I'm not gonna keep anyone here if we don't.
Everybody good? There's a lot of resources, please reach out if you have questions or you're not sure about something. We're in this together.
All right. I know sometimes I feel this way. So
Yes.
if you need to roll down and crawl under your desk and just take a minute. I'm not your supervisor, but I think it's okay.
that's like 2 p.m.
After lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. All right. Well, take care, everyone. Thank you all for coming. I would expect to see the video up tomorrow or Tuesday, depending on when I get the time to drop it in.